Solidworks, and we're going to design a bracket today. So I'm also going to show you how to start from a new part. In this we see the major functions: parts, assembly, and drawings. So the first thing we're going to do is select a part, and when you look in this part, you're going to notice that there's three planes: the front, the top, and the right. And each one of these planes you can think of as a chalkboard. And depending on what you're actually drawing is how you want to select. You can select any plane you want, but it's as you learn about the program, you'll understand. Okay, I'm going to select the front view because that's the particular view I'd like, and actually we'll go back and do it a different way as well. So in here we're going to select our sketch, and that turns our plane normal to us, which basically means it's parallel to our face, or you're essentially looking at a chalkboard on a wall. It's whatever you want to think about it. So now we're going to select the rectangle, and this here is the origin, and we like to it just helps lock things down. You don't necessarily have to use it, but it becomes good practice. When you see these black lines and the blue lines, what the black means is that they are the black is fully defined, and the blue lines are not completely defined. A lot of books talk about completely defining your sketch before you move forward. I like to just dimension up the necessities. So with that, we're going to go over here and select Smart Dimension, and when you left click once on a line, it's intuitive enough to know where the endpoints are. You left click again to locate the dimension, and then here there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can use this rotational bar down here, or when it's highlighted in blue you can go ahead and click it. So I'm going to type in 3 inches. Okay. Now you'll notice that we can continue to use the dimension command so without having to go back and select it. So we can select pretty much everything, and I'm going to make this 4 inches by using my numeric keypads. To end the command, you can hit the escape button, select OK. Now up here I want you to notice that you're still in the sketch mode, and this pencil and this X. So if we X out, it's going to ask you, hey, do you want to kill everything that you've created in the sketch? Of course we don't, because we want to keep it. So to end the sketch, we could select this. Okay, so now if we go to an isometric view, there's our sketch, and it's in gray. I'm not sure if you can see it, but the colors do mean things. So we're going to go back into the sketch, hit our third mouse button, and go Edit Sketch. We're going to go back to Normal 2, so we get that chalkboard kind of thing in our face happening. And hang on, I just screwed up my view. Alright, so here I can add some 3D parameters to it, like giving it an extrusion. But one of the things we're going to do is, before we do that, I'm going to show you they're called center lines, actually, or construction lines. My monitor's doing some silly things here. So there's a couple of ways to do it. This method of a diagonal allows you to find the center of this box. I don't normally do it this way because there's an advantage to going horizontal and vertical. Down the road you'll see when we talk about symmetry that those aid. So for this particular thing, I'm going to make this a 1/2 inch diameter, and now we're going to give it its extrusion. We're going to pick 1/4 of an inch, actually type it in, click OK, and there's your first 3D part. Now when you start getting into this, you definitely want to save it, and we'll go ahead and save this. I'm going to name the part. Okay, and now we've selected a location for our part. And now there's a couple of ways to go ahead and handle the base of this part. So when you want to make a selection in your 3D to what particular face you want to sketch on, so we're going to select that, come on back up here and say sketch. Okay, where that green is, when we go normal to, that green is now our sketch plane. So in there, so we're going to start in this corner, and we're going to draw the square, give it a dimension, and I believe we had a thickness of 1/4 of an inch, so we're going to stay with that, 0.25. Okay, now we're going to go to the isometric, where you're going to be able to see this extrude. Alright, so we drew on that surface, and now we're going to give it an extrusion. Okay, as I use the up and down slider, you can see it go in, but for our purposes, I usually like to key in my dimension. So we're going to call this thing 3 inches. Now right here, by selecting merge result, which I believe is the default, it's going to go ahead and now you see it as a single part. Okay, so it looks like it is a single part. So we hit save, and that concludes tutorial number 1.